Welcome, everyone. Today, I'm going to tell you the unbelievably powerful real-life story of David Goggins, a man who turned pain into power, fear into fuel, and weakness into unbreakable mental strength. This story is not just about muscles, running, or Navy SEAL training. This story is about you, your pain, your struggle, your fear, your excuses, and how to destroy them with discipline and a strong mind. By the end of this biography, you will learn how a broken boy, suffering from asthma, racism, trauma, and learning disabilities, transformed into one of the toughest men on the planet. You will learn how to stop making excuses, how to control your mind instead of letting your mind control you, why most people never reach their potential, and how you can break that cycle to become uncommon among uncommon people. And as you listen, you'll also improve your English, your vocabulary, your listening, your understanding, and your motivation. So make sure to subscribe and join us on this powerful journey. Chapter 1. The Boy Who Faced Darkness. David Goggins was born in Buffalo, New York. But his childhood was not normal. It was not peaceful. It was not happy. It was pure pain. He grew up in a house filled with fear. His father owned a roller skating rink business. From the outside, people thought the family was rich and happy. But behind closed doors, David and his mother lived in a nightmare. His father was abusive, especially toward David's mother. He beat her, controlled her, and treated David like a slave. David was forced to work late nights at the skating rink and wake up early for school. He didn't sleep. He didn't play. He didn't feel safe. David later said, "I didn't have a childhood. I had a job and trauma." The worst part was that he wasn't allowed to talk about it. At school, he had to smile and pretend everything was fine. But deep inside, he was scared, lost, and angry. David struggled in school. He had a learning disability, asthma, and a stutter. People called him stupid. They laughed at him. Teachers didn't believe in him. Eventually, he stopped believing in himself. Later, David and his mother escaped and moved to a small town in Indiana. But life didn't get easier. It became even harder. He was the only black kid in his school. Every day he was bullied, called racist names, and made to feel like he didn't belong. David said, "Everywhere I went, I felt unwanted." He began to hide. He faked sickness to avoid school. He became afraid of everything, tests, people, life itself. His grades collapsed. He started lying, cheating, and pretending to be someone he wasn't. But deep down he knew, this is not who I want to be. One day, David looked at himself in the mirror. Shirt off, overweight, scared, and filled with self-hate. He was nearly 300 pounds. He was working as a pest control worker, spraying cockroaches every day. Every morning he woke up miserable. Every night he felt worthless. Then one day, everything changed. He watched a documentary about the Navy SEALs, the toughest soldiers in America. He saw men jumping from helicopters, training in freezing water, crawling through sand, bleeding, screaming, and pushing far beyond their limits. And he said to himself, that's the kind of man I want to be. That's who I was born to be. But there was a problem. The Navy SEALs had strict weight limits. David needed to lose more than 100 pounds in just a few months. Most people would laugh. Most people would quit before they even started. David Goggins didn't. He decided, this is war. This is my new life. He cut out junk food. He trained relentlessly, multiple workouts every day. He suffered. He pushed. He refused to quit. When David finally entered the Navy, he had one goal. Become a Navy SEAL, the toughest of the tough. SEAL training is not a normal job. It is pain, punishment, freezing water, mental torture, and non-stop suffering by design. The training is meant to break you. At the center of it all is Hell Week, the week that breaks most men. David entered training full of fire. He had transformed his body and escaped the darkness of his past. But now he stood among the strongest men in the world. Hell Week was brutal. Minimal sleep, endless ocean exposure, boats carried overhead, constant screaming, bleeding feet, frozen bodies, broken minds. And David broke. He was injured and pulled from training. He was told to go home. Most people would quit forever. David didn't. He said, "I don't care how many times I fail. I'm not leaving until I become a SEAL." He healed and returned. But this time he developed severe pneumonia. His lungs filled with fluid. Doctors warned him he could die. He was pulled out again. 2 attempts. 2 failures. Still, he refused to quit. He believed something most people never do. You are in control of your mind. Your mind is not your master, you are. Then came the 3rd attempt. 3 chances. 3 battles. David made one promise to himself. I will suffer. I will bleed. But I will never quit. This time Hell Week was worse. His body began to fail. Stress fractures tore through his legs. Every step felt like his bones were breaking. He taped his legs. He ran anyway. He urinated blood. He could barely walk. But he refused to ring the bell that ends the suffering. David said, I'd rather die here than live one more day as the old version of myself. After unimaginable pain, sickness, and mental torture, David Goggins graduated. He became a Navy SEAL. From a scared, overweight, bullied child, he became one of the most elite warriors on earth. But that was only the beginning. David didn't stop. He wanted to know how far the human mind and body could go. He believed most people quit at less than half their true potential. Pain, he taught, is the path. Discipline is the weapon. Suffering is the teacher. And on the other side of hell, there is greatness. His body began to shut down. His feet were bleeding, covered in blisters. He couldn't stand up straight. The bones in his feet were broken. And at his lowest moment, his body completely failed him. His stomach gave out and he lost control. He had every reason to stop. But he didn't. He sat down. He taped his feet. He drank a small protein shake. Then he stood up again. And he finished the entire race in under a single day. That race didn't just damage his body, it destroyed it. He couldn't walk properly for days. His toenails fell off. His muscles were torn apart. Doctors warned him about permanent damage. But David Goggins said something unforgettable. I found something in that pain. I found a side of me I had never seen before. That was the moment he realized a powerful truth. Pain unlocks a door. And on the other side of pain is power. If you are willing to suffer longer than most people, you can achieve what most people never will. Now that he had qualified, David Goggins signed up for the Badwater race, known as the toughest foot race in the world. A brutal run through Death Valley, across scorching pavement, under extreme heat, with no shade, no comfort, and no mercy. Goggins didn't just finish it. He became one of the top competitors again and again. He ran it multiple times. He completed countless ultramarathons, ultra-distance races, non-stop endurance events, and even set a world record for pull-ups in a single day, performing thousands of repetitions. He didn't do it for medals. He didn't do it for attention. He did it to prove one thing. The human mind is the most powerful weapon on earth, if you learn to control it. David Goggins developed a powerful mental strategy called the cookie jar. Every time he feels pain, exhaustion, or doubt, he reaches into his mental jar filled with past victories, surviving abuse, enduring racism, completing SEAL training, running extreme distances on broken feet. He pulls out those memories and uses them as fuel. When most people say, I can't go on, Goggins says, I've been through worse. I can do this too. David Goggins didn't become extraordinary because of his body. He became extraordinary because of his mindset. His story teaches this simple truth. You don't need to be special. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need motivation. What you need is discipline, honest self-talk, and a refusal to quit. You need to become your own hero. You need to suffer on purpose to grow. You need to do something hard every single day, not because it's fun, but because it teaches you who you truly are. Goggins says, suffering is the path to self-respect. When you break your limits, you earn the right to be proud of yourself. Chapter 3. Can't Hurt Me. The book, the lessons, the mindset. After becoming a Navy SEAL, an ultra-runner, a world record holder, and a symbol of mental toughness, people began asking David Goggins the same question. How are you real? How can someone go through so much pain and not break? Instead of giving a short answer, David gave the world a book. A book that became a movement. A book that changed millions of lives. A book called Can't Hurt Me. Master Your Mind and Defy the Odds. This wasn't just a story. It was a blueprint for building an unbreakable mind. Let's break down the lessons inside it. Truth 1. Stop lying to yourself. David says the most important conversation you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. Most people wake up saying, I'm tired. I'm not good enough. It's too hard. I'll start tomorrow. He calls this the path of weakness. Instead, he says, if you're overweight, admit it. If you're lazy, face it. If you're wasting your potential, look in the mirror. Not to shame yourself, but to free yourself. You can't change what you refuse to face. Truth 2. Callous your mind. Just like your hands harden when you lift weights, your mind hardens when you do difficult things. Waking up early. Training when tired. Studying when bored. Speaking up when scared. Each challenge builds mental armor. Over time, life stops breaking you and starts shaping you. Truth 3. The accountability mirror. David once covered his bathroom mirror with harsh sticky notes, brutally honest reminders of where he was failing. Every night, he asked himself one question. Did I do my best today, or did I waste it? No blaming parents. No blaming luck. No blaming circumstances. Only responsibility. Truth 4. The 40% rule. When your mind tells you you're done, you're not even close. You're operating at less than half of your true capacity. That means there is still more strength, more focus, more effort. Goggins proved this through extreme suffering. You can prove it by pushing just one step further each day. Truth 5. Suffering is the path to freedom. Most people run from pain. They chase comfort. They avoid discomfort. And that's why they stay stuck. Choosing discipline over comfort builds freedom. Choosing growth over pleasure builds power. The easy road leads nowhere. The hard road leads to your best self. Truth 6. No one is coming to save you. This realization changed everything for David. No rescue is coming. No miracle is arriving. If your life is going to change, you must change it. You must become your own hero. Can't hurt me doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means nothing controls you. Not fear. Not failure. Not rejection. Not the past. Because you've already faced your demons and won. David didn't write this book for fame or money. He wrote it to wake people up. To say, you have more. You can do more. You are not your past. You hold the key to your own freedom. The book became a global phenomenon, creating a movement of people choosing hardship, discipline, and growth. Not to impress others, but to prove to themselves that they were born for more. The final chapter, The War Within. This final chapter is about the lessons, mindset, and legacy of a man who never stopped fighting, because he believed you can always become more. Even after becoming famous, David Goggins didn't slow down. He ran more ultramarathons, trained harder, and pushed his limits even further. But behind the scenes, something dangerous was happening. He began feeling strange pain in his chest. At first, he ignored it, just like he had ignored pain his entire life. But eventually, doctors discovered a serious condition. David had a hole in his heart, something he had been born with but never knew about. Could have killed him. Doctors told him he never should have been allowed to become a Navy SEAL, never should have run ultramarathons, and never should have pushed his body the way he did. Yet he had done all of it with a broken heart. Literally. When doctors told him he needed heart surgery, he didn't panic. He didn't fall apart. He laughed. Once again, life had brought pain, and once again he was ready. Goggins said, I'm not afraid of pain. I know how to suffer. Let's go. He underwent heart surgery, recovered, and then went straight back to training. In his second book, Never Finished, David explains a powerful truth. Most people stop growing because they think they've done enough. They believe they've improved enough. They think they're already better than most. That mindset is the trap. Goggins teaches that there is no finish line. You are not running a race, you are building a lifestyle. Every day you must ask yourself, What more can I do today that challenges me, scares me, or changes me? In Never Finished, he doesn't just tell his story, he gives you tools. The savage mindset. Most people live with a comfortable, civilized mind. They want ease. They avoid pain. They seek balance. Goggins lives with a savage mindset, a warrior's mind. He says, I don't train to win races. I train to dominate my inner weakness. I train to silence the voice of fear. A savage mindset means you don't quit when you're tired. You do hard things even when no one is watching. You train your mind to believe, I can handle anything. The mental lab. David created what he calls a mental lab, a place inside your mind where you study yourself. In this lab, you ask hard questions. Why did I quit today? Why did I avoid that difficult conversation? Why am I still making excuses? Most people never do this. They distract themselves with entertainment, food, scrolling, and blame. The mental lab forces you to examine your mind like a scientist so you can fix what's broken. Stay dangerous. Goggins says, don't aim to be peaceful. Aim to be dangerous and then choose peace. Being dangerous doesn't mean violent. It means prepared, ready to face stress, pressure, discomfort, failure, and pain. When life attacks, will you be the hunted or the hunter? The path is always hard. Walk it anyway. This journey is not easy. It's not comfortable. It's not fair. But it's worth it. Because on the other side of pain is pride. On the other side of fear is freedom. On the other side of weakness is your true strength. David Goggins is no longer just a man. He is a movement. He is proof that the human mind is far more powerful than you think. That the body is capable of more than you imagine. That your past does not define you. That excuses are a choice. And that pain is not the enemy. It is the doorway to greatness. He never wanted fame. He wanted people to realize one simple truth. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be honest. Stay hard. Stay disciplined. Stay dangerous. And never forget, you are never finished. You didn't read this story just to learn about David Goggins. You read it because you want to change your life. So here is what he would tell you. Wake up earlier than you want to. Do something hard every single day. Run toward your fear. Embrace discomfort. Be brutally honest with yourself. Use pain as fuel. And when your mind says, stop, answer back, I'm just getting started. You are not finished. You are just beginning. If you made it to the end of the story, you've already proven something. You are hungry for change. You want more from life. You want to grow. You want to become someone your younger self would be proud of. You don't need to be born strong. You don't need to be born lucky. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to take the first step and decide, I will not live like this anymore. David Goggins didn't come from privilege. He came from pain, fear, and nothing. And he turned it into power. And so can you. No matter where you are. No matter how broken you feel. No matter how far behind you think you are. You can change. You can grow. You can become unstoppable. So get up. Stop waiting. Start moving. Remember this. You are not finished. You are just getting started. Now go and become the strongest version of yourself. Because the world hasn't seen your full power yet. Flex biceps.